hearing that the former Royal Marine, Ciarán Maxwell, he's from County Antrim, he made bombs for dissident Republicans, and we're just hearing from the court that he's been sentenced to a total of 23 years. He will spend 18 years in custody and 5 years out on extended licence. He spent 5 years researching, building and storing bomb parts in hides in Northern Ireland and in woods near his home in Devon. Sentencing him, the judge said the actions had been a flagrant breach of trust and a betrayal of his position in the armed forces. With the background to the case, here's June Kelly.
Ciarán Maxwell appeared the proud commando, posting his training exercises on Facebook. But even before he'd passed out, he was the enemy within the Royal Marines, living the most audacious double life. Throughout his military career, he was making bombs for the dissident Irish Republican group, the Continuity IRA.
He was a very accomplished and sophisticated bomb maker who could have supplied these devices over a long period of time to violent dissident Republican groupings, and undoubtedly I believe that by being caught now, lives have been saved.
4 of Maxwell's bombs were used by the Continuity IRA in residential areas, and 2 of them went off. No one was hurt. He built 14 bombs, and he knew those he was servicing were intent on attacking police stations and killing officers. Maxwell had researched over 300 targets. He was from the northern Irish town of Larne, and using his military ID, he would regularly travel back here, secretly carrying bullets and bomb-making components. It was near Larne that police uncovered the first of a series of hides used by Maxwell to store his lethal stashes. These included anti-personnel mines. As a member of the Royal Marines' Elite 40 Commando unit, Ciarán Maxwell was based here in Somerset, and this is where he was arrested. For years, without ever being caught, he'd been systematically stealing British military ammunition and adding it to his terrorist arsenal. As well as the locations in Northern Ireland, he had a further network of hides in the West Country, close to his home in Devon. In all, he had 43 hideaways for his deadly caches. As a teenager, Ciarán Maxwell was badly beaten by a loyalist gang. He was a Catholic growing up in a unionist area. As a result, he suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, but the prosecution said this wasn't believed to be at the root of his offending. A former army officer and now Northern Ireland politician, Doug Beattie, is astonished that Maxwell got away with his extraordinary double life for so long.
But we could have been looking at loss of life perpetrated at the hands of a serving soldier of the British military. And if we don't have a look at our security checks and how we vet people before we join the military, then we're going to have problems in the future.
The Ministry of Defence said all personnel were subject to security checks throughout their careers. Ciarán Maxwell, the rogue Marine, now begins his jail term. June Kelly, BBC News.
So the latest from the Old Bailey that Ciarán Maxwell, who'd pleaded guilty earlier this year to preparing terrorist acts, has been sentenced to 23 years. 18 years will be spent in custody, 5 years